Namaste, guys. ChristianRLong, life enhancement consultant, giving you a big and beautiful shout out here in Denver, Colorado. It is 6:00 p.m. We're jumping on for our daily dose of growth, challenges designed to grow your soul and help you become a better person. And we're on challenge number 53 challenges. And I want to appreciate and acknowledge many of you did today's challenge because you sent me the messages privately because you weren't going to be able to be on tonight's stream, which is totally understandable. As we always say, you do the challenge when you do the challenge. You get on when you get on. You do, you don't. But we always say when you jump on, if you jump on, we say, I did it, I didn't do it, we didn't do it. So you take personal responsibility and accountability for your action. So what was today's challenge? What was challenge number 53? It was a little bit different, a little bit interesting. Came from an inspired place this morning. Not entirely sure why I came up with this challenge, but the challenge was to do origami representing your personality and then posting it on my page or wall, your page or wall, and tagging me so I know, hey, you did the challenge. So many of you did the challenge, tagged me, or sent it to me in Facebook Messenger, and I'm grateful for that. And I think it's just a busy, what is this, getting ready for 4th of July weekend? I don't know, something busy's going on. When I was doing service with a friend downtown Denver today, there was a bunch of traffic, like way more traffic than I've ever seen at that time of the day on that day. So I was like, there must be some activity, some event, something's going on. Chrissy, namaste. Welcome. Good to have you on. So, what was the feedback, which everyone who tagged me never gave me the feedback. All right, well, I learned for next time. Good evening. So the feedback of what did you get from today's challenge? When you got assigned the challenge, what were your thoughts and feelings? Natalie, namaste. During the challenge, what were your thoughts and feelings? And then after the challenge, what were your thoughts and feelings? Josiah, namaste. I saw yours, Josiah. Josiah was the first person that sent me him doing the challenge. Natalie says, didn't do it. Thank you, Natalie, for taking credit for that. Acknowledging, taking responsibility. I appreciate you. It's good to have you on always. It was so fun, Chrissy says. Aw, that's nice. Oh, Josiah, we know you did it, son. We know you did it. So, what was your feedback? For those of you who are on, for those of you who did it, what was your feedback of doing origami? I remember being a kid, I would say this was during 12, 13, 14, 15 years old when I had my Japanese phase. I don't know where it came from. I never had really anyone coming into my life. I think it had to do with Karate Kid #2, which is when Ralph Macchio's character flies over to Japan to meet his sensei's family and lineage, and that was in Japan, Okinawa, Japan, and they had a lot of Japanese actors, and I really was in awe of the martial arts and the intimacy and the romance and the struggle and the victory and the vengeance and all of this stuff. So I think that's when the seed was planted in my consciousness of the Japanese culture. And I remember when I was 10 or 11 years old, some of you may find this weird and surprising, but when I was 10, 11 years old, I remember telling my mom when she would pick me up, and I would stay with my mom on the weekends probably once a month. My mom would pick me up, and we would drive from Massachusetts to Rhode Island. It was about an hour and a half, 2-hour drive. And I remember when I was 10 or 11 years old, I said, Mom, I want to marry a Japanese woman. And she goes, why do you want to marry a Japanese woman? And I said, because they're subservient. That was my insight as a 10, 11-year-old boy. I wanted to marry a Japanese girl because they're subservient. So I must have got that from Karate Kid #2 in some way, shape, or form. And then I got interested in origami around the same age. Now, I never did origami. I was more fascinated with the mental understanding of it than I was physically doing it with my hands. So the whole arts and craft world, unfamiliar to me. Don't get it, never gotten it, don't think I will get it in this incarnation. So let's see. Chrissy says, excited, relaxing, and enjoyable, proud. Perfect. I love that. Super good feedback. Excited, relaxing, enjoyable, and proud. Josiah says it was interesting to pick out something that describes me. It was a joy from childhood, and it brought me back to peaceful, focused, but relaxed state. Oh, interesting. So Chrissy and Josiah both recognize the relaxation factor, which, Jillian, namaste. You changed your profile picture again. Looks good. That's the thing that I was hoping would be the experience of doing today's challenge number 53, was sitting in stillness, finding something that resonates with you, and then going through the flow activity. I will say this, maybe I didn't do origami growing up, but something I did a lot as a child, as a teenager and beyond, namaste, was folding airplanes. I did little tiny airplanes, I did giant airplanes, I did fat airplanes, I did long skinny airplanes, I did all kinds of airplanes. Airplanes with the tiny wings folded up on the side, folded underneath. I was always doing airplanes with pencils in the center. It was a weird thing that I did and that was, I guess, my form of origami. And whenever I did it, I was always blissed out. I always enjoyed the physicality and mentality combination of doing that. I never really applied it to other areas. I did like coloring, not so big on drawing because I wasn't a very good drawer. So I like coloring things. I like folding airplanes. I like putting the pencil in the airplane and flying it like it was a bomb. Like the pencil was like a bomb that was coming out. Because I would always do something with my older brothers with those airplanes. So that was my form of origami. Jeanette, good to have you back on. Namaste. So remember, if you did the challenge, I did it. If you did not do the challenge, I didn't do it. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, also, I did not do it. Taking personal responsibility for the act of doing or not doing. What else? So this challenge was an opportunity to tap into the creative aspect within you. Combine the sex chakra, which is lower creation, physical creation, right? Which you're physically manipulating something. And then higher creation, using your throat chakra. Lower creativity, higher creativity. That's what art is. So anytime you're drawing, you're painting, you're composing, you're performing a dance, choreography, public speaking, that's a form of higher creation. So sitting down and doing the origami is an opportunity to activate your sex chakra and activate your throat chakra and to transmute some sex energy into the throat chakra. So for some people, that's also working out in their garden. Gardening stimulates the basic chakra, stimulates the sex chakra, stimulates the navel chakra, stimulates in some ways the beings of beauty that deal with the flowers, right? Stimulates the heart. Also stimulates the throat because you're doing what? You're organizing, you're analyzing. You're like, okay, I'm going to put these flowers here. I got to dig up this part of the garden here. You're strategizing. So it's also activating the Ajna chakra. So gardening can be very, very therapeutic for many people. Why? Because you're also connected to Mother Earth. You're absorbing the negative ions from Mother Earth, which occurs when you walk around outside, not in your socks and shoes, but just in your bare feet, and you absorb negative ions from Mother Earth. Granted, you want to do that in a clean environment, right? So you wouldn't want to, say, walk around in shards of glass and rusty nails and, asphalt and cement, even though it's Mother Nature, right? You want to go out into the wilderness where there's fresh ground energy that's permeating and percolating from Mother Earth, that as you walk across it with bare feet, preferably if your feet are a little bit wet or damp, it allows you to absorb negative ions, which has a very healing and therapeutic effect on the body. I've bought the negative ion, they're called earth mats. You can put them in your workspace. You can put your feet on them while you work on your computer, so you're absorbing negative ions. You can also go out, you can also get a mattress, not a mattress, but like a blanket that you lay your body on. You sleep on that, and your body can absorb negative ions throughout the evening. And I've been doing that for about 2 years, and it helped improve the quality of my sleep. I felt more grounded and rooted and connected to the earth, because I have a tendency as an air sign, as an energy healer, and just in general, not to be so grounded to Mother Earth. So that was nice to have a grounding mat for work and in the bedroom. So that was partially the challenge for tonight. Challenge number 53 of practicing origami. It's getting you outside of your comfort zone. It's helping you activate your sex chakra. It's helping you activate your throat chakra. It's creating a sense of inner peace and stillness. And also it's focusing, right? So it's activating the Ajna chakra. So when we're on a project and everything else fades to black and we only have our mind at the task at hand, what's getting activated is the Ajna chakra. You're not thinking of anything else, errands you have to run, people you have to call, places you have to go. All you're focused on is the task at hand. So the Ajna chakra, Melissa, namaste, the Ajna chakra is highly activated and energized during the practice of that. So another thing would be those guys that do the little building the ships in the bottles, that minute work, throat chakra, Ajna chakra. People that paint the tiny figurines or soldiers, throat chakra, Ajna chakra. Focus, focus, focus. There's people who actually do artwork with grains of rice. Check it up on YouTube. It's fascinating. Like, we're talking super, super detailed stuff on a grain of rice, right? Or structures that are smaller than the tip of a pin of a needle. Amazing, right? So those people are really using their throat chakra and their Ajna chakra. One with detail, minute details. The other one is focus, focus, focus. So, is there anything else that you guys wanted to add? It's a small group tonight. Most of you have already either tagged me, said you did it, have obligations this evening, but want to fulfill the challenge, which I appreciate, because these challenges are not for me. These challenges are not for other people necessarily, but these challenges are always for you to grow as a soul, to grow your mental body, your emotional body, your physical body, to grow your finances even, right? So these challenges are for you. So when you do them, you grow, you develop, you become a better person. If you miss them or choose not to do them, your growth is not there, right? We can grow in a million different ways. That's why we offer these challenges every single day, for the next 60 days anyways, every single day, to give you an opportunity to grow as a person and as a soul. So I hope that helps. I hope each and every one of you that participated in the challenge, watching the replay of this, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something about yourself. I hope it planted seeds for other opportunities to practice higher creativity. Again, whether that's performing, choreography, writing a book, writing a song. Speaking of songs, I just finished watching Bohemian Rhapsody, which came out, I believe, 1 or 2 years ago. Andrew Atman Namaste, which is basically a quasi-documentary, Jessica Atman Namaste, of the band Queen. I thought it was going to be a musical. I, in particular, do not like musicals. It's not my thing. I watched Rocket Man that came out last year, which I consider to be very, very good. Even as a musical, is very good. Don't like musicals. Josiah saw it. He loved it. I just saw it. I wanted to see Bohemian Rhapsody from the trailer that was about 1.5 years ago. Loved it. Loved it. Just finished watching it. Like, the reason I was a minute late of coming on tonight's stream is because I was finishing up the movie. Great, 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 great movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's an excellent portrayal of Freddie Mercury, the lead singer of the band Queen. Developed soul. For those of you who have studied esoteric teachings, metaphysics, knowing what to look for, you could see that he was a relatively advanced soul. Yes, he had his weaknesses and negative tendencies, but he was a relatively advanced soul. So Jessica says, I didn't do it. Should be back tomorrow. My brother's left to go home today. Yay! Jessica will be back on the meditations. Joanna will be back on the meditations. They'll both be back on the challenges. It's all good. Remember what we said. When you're available, do the challenges. When you're not available, you don't have to do the challenges. You never have to do them anyways, right? Free will. Josiah says, sex chakra and ajna both need to be focused on something higher. Indeed. It's interesting. There's so much that can be talked about with the sex, with the throat. Sex is lower creativity, throat is higher creativity. And in general, most people waste sex energy. It's interesting because the pendulum can swing, right? One side of the pendulum is you can be hedonistic, constantly having sex, constantly masturbating, constantly releasing, especially for men, right? Dropping your ojas, your level of vitality, right? You can do that in your teens, your 20s, your 30s, your 40s. You have less and less and less the older the body gets, unless you do certain practices to conserve, preserve, and circulate the energy. So that's one end of the pendulum, constantly releasing, the hedonistic lifestyle. Then you have the other side of the pendulum, which is the puritanical, which is never, ever, 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 ever release. Sex is bad, sex is dirty, sex is unwholesome, sex is, negative viewpoint towards sex. What happens is the sex energy gets stuck. Rather than it going up and being used for higher purposes, it just gets stuck. And it builds up, and typically comes out in a unhealthy way, which is numerous ways that it can come out. So if you're here, you have no sex energy because you're always releasing. If you're here, you have an unhealthy attitude towards sex and the sex energy gets stuck. The path that you want to follow when it's connected to sex energy is the path of moderation and non-excessiveness, the path of the Tao. So you want sex energy to gradually go up, healthily go up. So when you have a thought process that sex is good, sex is natural, sex is awesome, but sex energy must be practiced with moderation and non-excessiveness, you have a portion of your sex energy that goes up and can be used for higher purposes, and then you have a portion of your sex energy that can be released. And instead of being released and feeling depleted, feeling drained, having guilt, having shame around releasing, right? A portion of the sex energy can be released, and you have what? Fulfillment. You have joy. You have connection. And for some people, this is a lifetime practice. But as I was talking with my friend with the movie, with sex energy, it is impossible to be highly creative, throat chakra, higher creativity, right? It's impossible to be highly creative and be sexually frigid. Make sense? Because frigidity means what? No movement. Frozen, not the movie, energetically speaking. The energy doesn't move. So it's impossible to be highly creative, which requires what? Sex energy. Because sex energy feeds the throat chakra. So energy from your sex chakra feeds your throat chakra. So if you are highly creative, that means you have a lot of sex energy moving into your throat. So it's impossible to be highly creative and be sexually frigid. That's why, on one level of truth, very, very creative people, very, very expressive people tend to have a lot of sexual affairs because they're constantly getting their throat stimulated, and then their sex stimulated, and then their throat stimulated, then their sex stimulated, then their throat stimulated. So they're constantly aroused in the creative endeavors, right? So before we jump on the bandwagon of criticizing and judging and shaming people who are very promiscuous, we have to understand, well, what is happening energetically, what is happening karmically, what are some of the things that person can do to minimize their unhealthy attitude towards sexuality. It's really quite fascinating. It's a topic I've studied extensively for many, many years, and I've had to overcome my own weaknesses and negative tendencies around this world. It's fascinating. Sex energy, when used properly, can transform the world. Sex energy, when used properly, can transform the world. Sex energy, when not used properly, can destroy you and many, many other people. It's quite fascinating. So, I know we got off topic, but we didn't have as many people jumping on live for today's challenge, so I thought, well, let's add a little bit more value. Hopefully you guys got value out of it. And for those of you who need healing around your sex energy, your throat energy, or other parts of your energy body, definitely go to ChristianRLong.com. ChristianRLong.com, it's my name. Super easy to remember. My name is everywhere on Google. ChristianRLong.com. schedule a healing session, then we see each other on Skype or Zoom or FaceTime, because 99% of my healings are distant. Some people come and see me physically, otherwise not. Chrissy says, works for me. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening. You're very welcome, Chrissy. And I will see you guys tomorrow at 8 o'clock a.m. Mountain Time for another Daily Dose of Growth, challenge number 54. And then we'll do our Twin Hearts meditation at 8:30 a.m. Mountain Time. Until then, have an amazing evening, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. This is Christian Long, Life Enhancement Consultant, wishing you a beautiful day, a beautiful week, and a beautiful life. Atma, namaste. Bye-bye.